Hello friends, welcome to our video on Ashwa Old Coins. The 1980 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin is a significant piece of American numismatic history. It was part of the United States Mint's attempt to introduce a smaller, more convenient dollar coin to replace the larger Eisenhower dollar. The coin featured the image of Susan B. Anthony, an iconic women's rights advocate and suffragist who played a key role in the movement for women's voting rights in the United States. The 1980 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin was minted at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D mint mark on the reverse side of the coin. Here are the key specifications for the coin. Diameter, 26.5 millimeters. Weight, 8.1 grams. Composition, 91.67% copper, 8.33% nickel. Edge, reeded. Obverse Design. The obverse features a portrait of Susan B. Anthony, designed by artist Frank Gasparro. She is shown in profile, wearing a scarf over her head, symbolizing the dignified and determined character she displayed in her quest for gender equality. Reverse Design. The reverse design, also created by Frank Gasparro, features an eagle landing on a branch, surrounded by 13 stars representing the original American colonies. The reverse was similar to the design used on the Eisenhower Dollar, which had an eagle in a similar pose. The coin's denomination $1 is prominently displayed. The choice of Susan B. Anthony was a tribute to her historical significance in the American women's suffrage movement. This coin marked the first time a woman, other than the symbolic figure of liberty, had appeared on U.S. coinage. The 1980 coin was part of a series of coins that began to be minted in 1979. However, the 1980 series was notable because it was released at a time when public reception of the coin had not been overwhelmingly positive. This period of minting was relatively short-lived, but the coin was produced in significant numbers to meet the public's demand for a more practical dollar coin. In 1980, the Denver Mint produced approximately 77.5 million Susan B. Anthony coins. Despite this, the coin did not achieve the same level of circulation or acceptance as its predecessors, such as the Eisenhower Dollar. Challenges of the Susan B. Anthony Dollar. The Susan B. Anthony $1 coin faced several challenges after its release. One of the primary reasons for its lukewarm reception was its size and weight. While it was smaller and lighter than the Eisenhower Dollar, it was very similar in size and appearance to the quarter, which caused confusion among the public. Many people found it difficult to distinguish the Susan B. Anthony dollar from the quarter, and the coin did not achieve widespread use in everyday transactions. In addition, many vendors had difficulty adjusting their vending machines to accept the coin, which limited its circulation. The 1980 coinage, as well as the 1979 series, led to the discontinuation of the coin in circulation after the early 1980s. Despite this, collectors continued to value the coin as a part of American history, especially because it honored Susan B. Anthony's contributions to society. The history behind the introduction of the Susan B. Anthony dollar coin is rooted in the broader context of U.S. monetary policy and the push for a smaller, more practical dollar coin. The Eisenhower Dollar, introduced in 1971, was larger and heavier than the previous silver dollars, which made it cumbersome for everyday use. In 1977, Congress decided to replace the Eisenhower Dollar with a smaller, lighter coin that could be more easily used in vending machines and in regular circulation. Initially, the U.S. Mint considered placing a portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower on the new dollar coin, but eventually decided on an entirely different approach. They would honor the efforts of Susan B. Anthony, one of the most famous figures in the women's suffrage movement, which had led to the passage of the 19th Amendment in 1920. Susan B. Anthony's legacy was central to the ideals of equality and empowerment. By putting her on the $1 coin, the Mint hoped to not only create a practical currency, but also elevate the role of women in the nation's history. The 1980 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The U.S. Mint operates several facilities across the United States, including in Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, and West Point. The Denver Mint, which opened in 1906, is one of the most famous and historically significant mints in the country. It played a major role in coin production throughout the 20th century and remains an important part of the nation's minting operations. The choice of Denver as a minting location for the 1980 Susan B. Anthony coins was part of an ongoing effort to produce enough coinage to meet national demand, especially after the decision to reduce the size of the dollar coin. Circulated condition. In circulated condition, the 1980 D. Susan B. Anthony $1 coin typically has a value close to its face value of $1, especially if it has average wear. The coin's value may range between $1 to $2 depending on wear and demand. Uncirculated condition. If the coin has not been used in everyday transactions and remains in mint condition, it could have a higher value. In MS-60 to MS-63 condition, which indicates little to no wear but some minor imperfections, the coin could be worth around $2 to $4. Coins in higher uncirculated grades, MS-65 and above, may fetch more, potentially up to $5 to $10 or slightly more, depending on the market and collector demand. Proof condition. A proof version of the 1980 Susan B. Anthony coin, typically struck with a special die and finished with a mirrored surface, is generally valued higher. A proof 1980s, struck at the San Francisco Mint, can range from $5 to $15 and may go higher depending on condition, packaging, and collector enters. The 1980 D mint mark is one of the common varieties, and thus it does not carry the same premium as the 1979 Type 1 or certain 1979 and 1981 varieties. The Susan B. Anthony dollar had a mixed reception, and many were not widely used, making coins in certain conditions potentially more valuable due to their relative rarity. The legacy of the Susan B. Anthony dollar. Despite its relatively short circulation life and lack of widespread public acceptance, the Susan B. Anthony dollar became a significant symbol in the history of U.S. coinage. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a woman other than Lady Liberty, and this achievement itself is a remarkable milestone. In 1999, the U.S. Mint introduced the Sacagawea dollar, another $1 coin featuring a prominent woman in American history. This coin was intended to address the same issues of size and confusion that had plagued the Susan B. Anthony dollar, although it too faced challenges in achieving widespread circulation. Collectors continue to value the Susan B. Anthony dollar, particularly in its various mintmark forms, such as the 1980 D coin. These coins have become a part of American numismatic history, representing both the evolving landscape of American currency and the efforts to honor women's contributions to the nation's development. In conclusion, the 1980 D Susan B. Anthony dollar was more than just a coin. It was a symbol of a larger societal shift and an effort to memorialize the women who contributed to the nation's growth. Though its introduction did not meet with the immediate success that was hoped for, it remains a noteworthy and valuable piece of American history.